Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to the newest, and I would offer grandest museum in the state of North Carolina. And while the building is new and world-class, the Cape Fear Museum has told the story of our region for the past 128 years. And today, that story continues in the heart of downtown alongside the county's new main library. So to get us started, please welcome the Chair of the Board of Commissioners, Leanne Pierce.
Well, good afternoon, and thank you all for being here today. What a great day for New Hanover County. You know, this board made a promise to have a museum and a library side by side in the heart of downtown, and today we deliver on that promise. The Cape Fear Museum has told the community story since 1898. It is the oldest history museum in North Carolina, and today, for the first time in 128 years, it has a home of its own. A home where kids can look up at the planetarium and see and learn about real science. In less than a year, this board has delivered a main new library, a library in North Chase, and now this museum. This is what investing in quality of life for our citizens looks like. And we are honored to have you here today, and we're honored to be a part of the ceremony. And I'm going to invite my fellow commissioners to say a word, and then our county manager. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is a labor of love, long time coming. We've talked about this every time that we have been in this building, talked about this building. How many years went by in order to make this a reality? 10 plus years. You've got to, even more than that, I'm seeing 12 years. It is a major accomplishment for our community to be able to stand here today by the sloth. And I was with somebody cutting my hair today, and she's a very nice person, got a little daughter, and she was saying, I'm hearing about that museum that's in downtown. And I said, you've heard about it, but you haven't seen it. And you're going to be blown away whenever you get to go see it. And your daughter is going to be blown away whenever she gets to go see it. This museum is for the people, but in my view, it's really for the kids. Thank you, everybody.
I was lucky enough to be the chairman when we got into this real heavy. And I know there's a lot of people in here that know what I'm talking about, but boys, I'm going to tell you what, you don't have a clue what it took to get this done. Number one was the state treasurer. He hated our guts, and he did everything in the world to make sure we didn't get here today, didn't he, Brian? But we beat him. We beat him. If it hadn't been for him, we'd have done this probably 2 or 3 years ago. But I haven't been in here yet, just from the front door to here. I can't wait to go look through it. It's just, I've heard it's just absolutely incredible. But one thing I wanted to thank Sarah Warman, that pretty much got it built, told those boys how to build it. And, you know, all the construction, Monteith, it's just, everybody did an incredible job, and I appreciate all of it. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. This is very awesome. I think, 2 libraries, 2 fire stations, a new museum. I don't know. We can go on and on. This county's done an awesome job, past, now, and future. Let's hope we carry on the tradition of taking care of our citizens. I feel 150 years old, but I do remember the old museum, the big wooden door, all the field trips taken to that, the big diorama. I don't think it made it over, but that's okay. We got some things going on here. Dane said it right. This is about the children. It's about me too, adults too. But it definitely is about the children. And I'm so excited. I've seen this in different stages of build, and I just can't, I'm in awe of it. It's beautiful. I want to thank Kate too. I know how hard she has worked on this, and all the other staff here. I won't go on because we got a lot more remarks to get to, but I very much appreciate all the hard work that's gone into this, all the labor of love, all the fights, everything. But we made it happen, and I hope everybody's proud of it as we are, or I am. So thank you.
Yow! Good afternoon. This is one of the best days of all of our lives here to see something like, oh, Jonathan, I didn't even see you there. Good to see you, Jonathan Barfield, who's a large part of getting this across the line as well, former county commissioner. I see Charles Boney over there. It was our conversations that really kind of ignited what I think we would call the modern thinking of this, these 12 years ago. You came up behind me and suggested maybe we ought to put it over here on Gray Street side rather than Chestnut Street side. It's where things happen. Brian, thank you so much for having the faith in us, in jumping in midstream there and picking it up, and throwing this project on your back and running with it so we get to what we have here today. I mean, it's absolutely stunning. Kate, you have got, I don't know, the Cadillac, the Jaguar, you name what you think is best. But that's what you've got, and you're off like a rocket here. I've had an opportunity to go through in couple of pre-visits, the science, technology, and history, all right here in one building. And when you get too tired, not tired, or you've had enough, you walk across the lobby and you're in the greatest library you've ever seen. Now, tell me that's not serving your community, but it took a community effort to make that happen. The other thing I love about the museum, and it started back there, oh, Chris Boney back there too as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Is that every exhibit, at least when I look at it, has a story behind it. Every item, everything we pulled up from the basement over at the old museum, there's a history, there's a story, there are people and a person's history behind that. So as you walk around and look, please, put that in the back of your mind. None of this is kind of fantastical. It's all grounded in real people in New Hanover County. And there's our sheriff back there too, Ed. Good to see you, yeah. That moves me in a lot of really positive ways for our community, to know that we have this beautiful building and all these exhibits. And also to know that we have literally doubled our space here for the Cape Fear Museum. There's some thoughts out there that somehow we're going to close down the other museum. Nothing could be farther from the truth. We are adding it too. So doubling our investment in our culture and our legacy here in New Hanover County. I'll stop there, but thanks. I know we got some good words coming from our county manager. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Madam Chair and Commissioners, and good afternoon to everyone. I want to start out by saying, if you really had the vision of what this was going to look like when we started 12 years ago, congratulations. I did not. I knew we wanted to take what we had and make it better, but I don't know that this was exactly what I thought the promise to our community was going to look like. So for those of you that had the vision, and Chris, I know you were one of them, thank y'all for giving us what we have. This deserves a round of applause. Thank you to the visionaries. I want to be really precise in what I say. This is an important moment for us as a community, and I've had the good fortune of being a part of it every step of the way. And so I hope you'll indulge me and give me the space to be very precise and communicate to you what we're seeing. But today brings a really long journey to a close. I considered myself a rather young man when this started, and here we are truly a dozen years later. Project Grace was a vision, then a series of public decisions. That's important to know. Nothing happens behind closed doors. Every decision was a public decision. And then finally, Monteith, construction of a project. With the opening of the new Cape Fear Museum, we complete the county's part of the Grace District. This block is not done. This is where the county's work effectively ends. Before we go any further, it's worth reflecting on what it is that our community and our board set out to accomplish here. From the beginning, this was about more than replacing 2 public buildings. They were important and they served us well, but it was always about more than replacing them. The vision was to bring culture and education together in a way that strengthens both of those important features, to create a place where the library and museum build on one another, Kate, and make this block the epicenter of learning, history, and culture in our region. 10 months ago, the new main library opened next door, and since then, residents have responded with more library cards, more checkouts of material, and more families spending time downtown. Mr. Mayor, thank you, ma'am, for being with us as well. Partnership with the city, but more families spending time in downtown. The early return on the county's investment, in my opinion, is already visible. So beginning tomorrow, we're going to see that return here in a museum that brings our history to life through modern tools, hands-on experiences, more than 400 artifacts, many of those that have been in the basement of the former library museum, and a 60-seat planetarium. I can't wait for everybody in this room to have that experience. It's a museum designed for how people learn today and for helping people of every age understand the history that shaped this community and all of our collective place in shaping that history. Cape Fear Museum has a special place in that history. It was the first history museum established in North Carolina and remains the oldest, commissioners, I believe that deserves recognition, the oldest museum in North Carolina. Congratulations. This building respects that legacy while giving the museum the space and the tools to serve the next generation. Project Grace represents a county investment of more than $77 million. That's a lot of money, but every dollar well invested. And it's been delivered to our community through a public-private partnership with Cape Fear Development. Brian, thank you for your leadership. Mike, I saw you. Thank you both for sticking with us and helping us deliver this to our community. Thank you, Charles. Absolutely. That public-private investment is intended to not only create the public spaces that we're enjoying today, but it's also intended to change everything that is around them. The county chose to invest first, to create an anchor that can spur and will spur private development and open up new possibilities for partnerships with schools, families, our cultural organizations, and other people across the region. It was a different way of thinking about public investment and what it can make happen. Nothing like this happens without people who share a vision and remain committed to pursuing it. Project Grace moved forward over many years under boards with different members and different political majorities. Yet every vote at every stage was unanimous. Every vote was unanimous to deliver this for our community. Congratulations to our elected leaders. You know, the fact that over 12 years every vote could be unanimous in and of itself is a telling testament to the vision behind this. Good ideas, ultimately, Jennifer, where are you? They do ultimately stand the test of time. They stand the test of changing leaders. Project Grace did both because successive boards understood that this district, what it could mean for the community, and remain committed to seeing it through. I want to thank the Board of Commissioners, past and present. Commissioner Barfield, thank you for being with us today, for establishing the vision and sustaining it over a 12-year journey. I hope we don't ever have to replicate things this way again, 12 years in the making, but I certainly hope it's the same kind of leadership and the same kind of partnership that our community experiences going forward. I want to recognize the county team that delivered it, led by Sarah Wormuth. Sarah, where are you? I've had a chance to see you, and thank you. Thank you to the board for acknowledging you and your team. It's a team to deliver this. I want to thank our partners at Cape Fear Development, at LS3P, and ultimately Monteith Construction. I think we have demonstrated what good partnership can look like in a community that's willing to take risks. So thank you to our partners. And I want to recognize Kate Ballin and the entire museum staff. Moving a collection that tells more than 2 centuries of our history into a new home was no small undertaking. Today marks the completion of the buildings, but not really the completion of the vision. We've delivered what we set out to build and what I hope it is that the county promised. The responsibility now belongs to all of us to use these public resources, to manage them well, and to make sure they continue to serve this community for generations to come. The measure of this investment will be what happens here in the years ahead. The people who learn here, the relationships that take shape here, and the additional investment that grows around here. For a long time, Project Grace was something that we were looking toward. Today, it becomes what it was always intended to be, a place where people can learn and grow, and where our community can thrive. That's what the journey's been about. That's what the public promise was about. And now that's what we're going to deliver to our community for the next 100 years from this site. I want to recognize Kate Ballin, invite you to come and share with us what are we going to see and experience with the Cape Fear Museum going forward. Thank y'all for being here. Thank you to the board. It's absolutely what our community deserves.
Thank you. I am so excited that we are at this point. I really am. Welcome to the new Cape Fear Museum of History and Science. And today, as everyone has said, is the culmination of years of planning, vision, partnership, and an extraordinary amount of hard work. First, thank you to New Hanover County, to our Board of Commissioners, county leadership, and the many county departments and staff whose commitment made this museum possible. This is an investment in our community, our history, our future, and generations of learners to come. Thank you also to our Cape Fear Museum Advisory and Associates Boards, donors, community and business partners, educators, and organizations who shared their expertise, resources, and encouragement throughout this journey. This museum was built for our community and with our community. And I especially want to recognize the extraordinary museum team who brought it to life. Over the past several years, our staff have worked alongside architects, contractors, designers, fabricators, community partners to transform a vision into the museum that you'll see today. But our staff didn't simply prepare the museum for a new museum, they created it. They researched, wrote, developed, selected objects, and collaborated with our design and fabrication partners, Lucy Creative, Ravenwoods, and RLMG, to shape every gallery, every story, every experience that visitors will experience. I'm incredibly proud to recognize Barbie Baker, Simon Lashford, Amy Thornton, Kitty Yerkes, Heather Yenko, Darcy Roten, Scott Denny, Jan Davidson, Devin Kelly, Meredith Morgan, Lona Popovic, Jeff Zig, Tess Will, Jameson McDermott, Alicia Edwards, and Rachel Smyer for their dedication and countless contributions throughout this project. I also want to recognize our newest team members, Noah Richardson, Emmeline Rhodes, Tony Souls, Nari Honor, and Jack Bashilas, who are already helping to shape the museum's next chapter. To our entire staff, thank you. This museum reflects your This museum reflects your expertise, creativity, persistence, and passion. I could not be prouder of what we have accomplished together. Because a museum is so much more than a building, it is the people, stories, objects, discoveries, and experiences that fill it. It is a place where our community can explore our history, discover the science shaping our world, and inspire curiosity for generations to come. And now, after years of imagining, designing, building, researching, writing, and creating, it is time for the most exciting part of all, opening the doors and welcoming the community inside. So on behalf of our entire Cape Fear Museum, welcome to your new Cape Fear Museum of History and Science, and I'd like to invite our Board of County Commissioners, County Manager, to join me up here to cut the ribbon.